Just touched down, back on road. Counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode, hop in mode. Just touched down, back on road. Counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode, hop in mode.
Man, yo, coming to the Barcode Podcast 414, man. Oak Creek, Wisconsin native, right? Oak Creek, Wisconsin native, man. But we have Oak Creek alumni. We have Wisconsin Badgers alumni. And we can't forget, man, we got Super Bowl 46 champion and a DJ. Y'all got to give it up for Travis Beckum. Thank you, man, for coming to the Barcode Podcast, baby.
I appreciate you, bro. If I'm from Milwaukee, am I a native of Milwaukee? Or did you just say that because I went to high school at Oak Creek?
Well,
I just wanted to clear that up real quick. I just wanted to know. From Milwaukee now.
Okay, Milwaukee 414. Okay, you from Milwaukee, Trav. Let's get it. I like that. So Trav from Milwaukee. My bad. He just went to high school in Oak Creek.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? And before we get into it, Trav, I got a few true false questions. All right.
Okay.
I know you a little bit. Where I know me and you are kind of silly. We like to crack jokes. I get it. So
these true false questions. How deep we going?
Not deep.
Okay.
Not deep. Okay. Not deep at all. No, Trav.
Okay. Good boy. You had me scared for a little bit.
No. So true false, man. I'm gonna start off with this. Shaquille O'Neal once fell out of a tree, broke his arm trying to imitate Spider-Man.
False. That's true?
That's true, Trav.
Why do you know that?
I research it.
So you researched, do you do this for everybody or did you just research Shaquille O'Neal questions because of me?
I do it for everybody.
Because you didn't send me nothing to study for now.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it.
Okay.
That's the good thing. So that's true. All right. So next one. And I know you're a football player, Trav, but this is another basketball player. Manute Bol once killed a lion with the spear.
True.
Wow. Yeah, Trav, that's true.
Is it?
That's true, man.
Oh, yeah. He looked like he was born with lions and tigers and stuff. Yeah. I knew that was true.
Yeah. All right, last one, Trav. A shrimp's heart is located in his head.
False.
That's true, Trav. A shrimp heart is located in his head.
Wait, why do you know that one? Just you didn't just. There wasn't no way you was just researching shrimp's hearts.
No, I'll be honest. I researched true, false, funny questions. Funny questions. I'm gonna get them warmed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So, well, just know I came warm. So.
Oh yeah, man. Man, listen, Trav. I really appreciate you taking the time out your day for real, because you do have a busy schedule. And, coming to the platform and taking us on your journey, because, these kids need it. And I'm doing this platform, because I just believe Wisconsin, we always just been on the back end with sports. We don't get a lot of light shine on a lot of light shine on us when it comes to sports, because we're not as big as Chicago and New York, Vegas, Cali, and all them places. So I do appreciate you, coming on the show, taking us on your journey. So,
yeah, I appreciate it, man. Obviously, I know it. This is something that you took seriously and are passionate about. And like you said, I think that Wisconsin doesn't get the best rap that it should. Primarily Wisconsin or Milwaukee in general. So, I'm excited to see what you got in store.
Okay, cool. Thank you, man. So I'm gonna start off by asking this, Trav. Who influenced you to play sports, football and whatnot?
That's a good question. I would probably say, when I started playing football, it was around the neighborhood, just playing with a lot of older guys, a lot of bigger guys, and And I just remember sitting on the couch back in the day, probably when I was like, man, like 6 or 7, and watching Antonio Freeman and those guys and Brett Favre, and just telling my mom that I was going to do that one day. So I think just watching those guys, having a passion for seeing those guys succeed, and obviously playing with the guys around the neighborhood was probably had the hugest influence on me playing football.
Okay, cool. And if I'm mistaken, you played a little bit of basketball as well too, right?
I did play basketball. I kind of did it because it was the off season for football and to kind of stay in shape. My heart was never really in it. But yeah, so I kind of did that to stay in shape.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, with you being living in Milwaukee and the talent that you had on the football field, what made you choose Oak Creek High School?
So that's a good question. So to start off with, I think in general, in Wisconsin, the best talent comes out of Milwaukee. And I was playing in Bayview area Red Cats football, and someone essentially reached out from Oak Creek High School, and it's like, hey, we have this opportunity. Oak Creek was one of the top schools in the state, and football was something that I knew that, I mean, that was the only option for me. If I didn't play football, I wouldn't have been able to afford college. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. I knew that was my passion, so I didn't have to force myself, but that was the only route that I knew that I had. And so yeah, it was just kind of one of those things. Like, I wanted to stay in Milwaukee because that's really what I knew. But again, Oak Creek was one of the top schools in the state. Milwaukee didn't really have good football programs. They had a lot of good athletes, but didn't necessarily have the whole package. So guys reached out from Oak Creek, took advantage of the opportunity, and never looked back.
Yeah, and obviously it worked well for you because you did some big things there, man. And I know going into your freshman year, of course, you played varsity, correct?
No, I played JV my freshman year. So I played. So again, me coming from Milwaukee, I didn't know anybody at Oak Creek High School, and I kind of felt like the football team at Oak Creek was kind of like AAU basketball, where you play with the same guys all the way up until if you guys make it pro. You guys are always on the same team. And so I went to Oak Creek and didn't really know anybody. So started off on the freshman team, and it was like 2 practices, and coach was like, all right, we got to move you up to JV. And then I started on JV my freshman year. And I mean, that was probably when our senior, or our varsity team probably at Wisconsin was the best they'd been in probably like the last 25 years. So varsity was kind of a reach, but yeah, I did start on JV, and then ended up starting on varsity my sophomore year.
Okay. And then when you played JV, when you was an incoming freshman, what was your height and size? Like, how big were you at the time?
So I was probably 6'2", probably 210 pounds. 6'2", 210 pounds. Yeah. And so then that was the thing, is throughout my career, even in the pros, I mean, I played the Super Bowl at 226 pounds. You know what I mean? An average tight end in the NFL is probably 265 pounds. I was the smallest tight end on my New York Giant team by like 40 pounds. So but in high school, freshman year, I was about 210 pounds.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of positions, I know that you originally played defense. before playing tight end. So when you made that transition, was that when you was on on varsity sophomore year, or did you play both positions, or were you just strictly on defense first?
So I didn't switch to tight end until, are you talking about high school or college?
High school, because I know you.
So yeah. So I predominantly played linebacker in high school, but I really started, I guess, essentially playing tight end my senior year of high school, and it was essentially Coach Cook being like, Travis, this is what I need you to do. Basically, go down in 3-point stance, run straight. We're gonna throw the ball up to you. And that's really what it consisted of. So I guess if you call that a tight end, that's a tight end. But I was predominantly a linebacker coming out of high school.
Mm-hmm. And once your coach threw you in that tight end position, did you feel uncomfortable, or were you like, oh man, I get to catch the ball, or how was you feeling at the time?
I hadn't done it much, but it felt natural. But it's just, for some reason, I just had this defensive mentality. And I knew that essentially when we needed a big play, because we were a huge running football team at Oak Creek. We ran the ball. We probably passed the ball once or twice a game. And that was our bread and butter. And if we needed a big play, that was when I switched over to tight end, and it just felt natural.
Mm-hmm. And who were some of the tough teams that y'all play? Even though Oak Creek was on top, I remember, of course, I went to Vincent. I remember you guys got that big transfer with Raymond Henderson, and I just remember y'all being a big powerhouse. But who were some of the guys on that team, and or the toughest or tough teams that y'all had to play against?
So we typically played a Milwaukee school, like the first round of the playoffs. We played Vincent, I want to say maybe 2 years. And then I think we played Bayview 1 year, and got a chance to whoop up on Adrian Battles and Nick Polk. But I would say, and again, this is a Vincent team that has a ton of talent. The funding as far as coaches and equipment and just someone investing in that program just wasn't there. But I would probably say like the Franklins, South Milwaukee, we always beat them by like 70 points. Mm-hmm. I say Burlington. I think they've won state maybe like 2 out of the last like 4 years or something like that. So they've really transpired to a really good football team. But it was always essentially when we got to the playoffs where we almost forgot how to play and who we were. Because I remember my sophomore year, we were up 26 to 6 at halftime against Arrowhead my sophomore year in to go to state, and we were up 25-6. We ended up losing 26-25, and I'll never forget that game. So it was almost some of the schools that weren't necessarily in our conference, just some of those suburban schools where they ain't got nothing to do but tackle cows and stuff like that. So
man, and going back to that Vincent game, man, I interviewed AB, and AB brought up when you guys met up against each other, and he believed Vincent had a fair chance of beating y'all. He felt like Vincent was the better team. He just felt like y'all had the size, and he just felt like
does anybody have the size on AB? AB was 12 years old, bigger than grown man. AB can't talk about no size now. AB still to this day look like he could start for the Packers.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Did he say what the score was?
I think y'all wound up busting their ass, man. But I remember that game. Do you remember? Wasn't it at Vincent?
No,
It wasn't.
no. I didn't even know Vincent had a football field.
Come on, Trav. You from
My
Milwaukee?
bad. You're right.
Yeah. But AB, like, man, I really think we had a real good chance of beating Travis Beckum, man. He's the, top player in the state, one of the, the top teams, one of the best teams in the state. So it's funny for you to share that y'all beat up on Vincent.
Yeah, it was they had super good athletes, but the coaching wasn't there, and that has a huge influence. I mean, as far as the skill players, they were much better, but overall as a team, we were better.
Yeah, exactly. Now, as far as like state run, did you ever have a chance to go upstate in football, or you feel?
No, the closest we got was my sophomore year when we lost to Arrowhead. That was the closest we got, and then junior year we didn't have a very. I mean, we made the playoffs, but we didn't have a very good team. And then senior year, we lost, I think, in the second round of the playoffs to Mugwanago. But yeah, we never got a chance to go to state.
Oh, okay. Now, how was your numbers and stats? Because I'm not a football guy, but
Yeah,
I know the basic stuff. But what was some of the your stats looking like? Throughout your time at Oak Creek.
That's a good question. I don't know. I know I was the number 6 linebacker in the country, but as far as stats, I wouldn't be able to remember those. I know I was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Wisconsin, and but yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what's good anymore on defense.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
been that long.
And when you was number 6 in the nation, were you going to like camps and like? Because were you just getting ranked just playing at Oak Creek, or were you going to camps and getting ranked? Like how did that go around that time?
So as a team, even with Raymond from Vincent, we didn't go to a camp that necessarily ranked you. It was kind of this small. It's like a wishbone camp, just basically a running football, basically a camp to help solidify your running attack. But as far as being the 6th player in the nation, it's kind of like they watch the top players in every state, and I forget his name, Tom Lemming. And they basically, they just go around and watch these players and basically compare and contrast you to all these players. And that's just what it came down to. I ended up playing in the high school All-American game, actually with Raymond. But yeah, I don't really know where they get those numbers from.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Now, Trav, I've been knowing you for quite some time. I feel like you're, a humble guy, a cool guy, down to earth, but we were kids at this time. And, you being from the, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and like I said earlier, we don't get a lot of love and stuff. So when you was number 6 in the nation, like, can you remember how you felt? Were you humble? You know what I'm saying? Like how did that make you feel being 6th in the nation?
It was I mean, I knew going into Oak Creek, coming from MPS, I was kind of a hothead. And I think overall, just playing with guys that were bigger, stronger, faster in my career than me at Oak Creek kind of humbles you a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had all the confidence in the world. Um, but I would say that I was I was very confident, and I think that's how um, I kind of perceive myself now as well. I'm extremely confident, extremely competitive. Um, is there instances of me that I can seem arrogant? I think that's gonna be kind of what you perceive as arrogant. Um, but I like to say I'm down to earth, but you just kind of have to take everything with a grain of salt. And obviously, you have a lot of people in your ears telling you that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Um, you do have to stay humble because real quick you can find guys that will put you on your butt and teach you a lesson. So I would probably say I'm down to earth, but very very confident.
Yeah, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that's how I am too.
Yeah.
So yeah. So with you going to these games and being nationally ranked and doing your thing at Oak Creek, and I want to know what all colleges were offering you.
So I had tons of schools that were looking. I think my first letter was from was essentially from the University of Miami. Um, is it University of Miami or Miami University? No, not Miami University. The Hurricanes. So that was my first letter, and that was like the first time I was like, man, like this is this is this is for real. Like um, this is actually what I perceived, and I think that again Raymond Henderson had a huge influence on my career in high school, and obviously him and I being two of the top players in the state, him having a completely different mindset um, coming from Vincent, and us being able to work together and being able to push each other. And I mean, because I think that with Raymond being my biggest supporter, I think that he just had the biggest influence as far as how good I knew I could be. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where you build a connection and with certain people, and it could last a lifetime.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And I know um with the talent you had, man, that you had a lot of great offers. So I want to know what made you choose Wisconsin, even though Wisconsin,
Yeah,
y'all had a good team. It's always been
yeah,
a good program. So,
yeah. So, and my bad to kind of elaborate as far as school. I mean, it was Miami was like my first school. Florida State. Took a visit to Tennessee, Oklahoma, um, Georgia, UCLA, USC. Um, but but it was just kind of one of those things where I just wanted to be close to home. I wanted my mom to be able to watch all of my games, and I think that was probably the biggest influence, besides the fact of Coach Alvarez having such a legacy at this university. I think those are the biggest reasons why I chose to stay in Wisconsin.
hmm now your class of '05, DeAndre Levy's class of '05, and if I'm not mistaken, Trav, you guys both went to Wisconsin the same year, right?
Yeah, yeah, we both were brought in at the same time.
All right. So with the talent that he had and the talent that you had, I know practices and everything was different for both of y'all, but for you, is that when you transitioned to playing tight end, like out gate, or you still was on defense going into Wisconsin?
So I think I was an outside linebacker. I think Dre was an inside linebacker, and Dre was more of Dre was more of Dre was more of a linebacker. I was an athlete playing linebacker.
Mm.
And yeah, it was just, we had a lot of older guys at the position, and I didn't play much. Neither one of Dre or I played much our freshman year. And it kind of came the spring ball of my sophomore career or my sophomore year, when I realized that three of our top tight ends were leaving. And during bowl prep one week, I was playing scout tight end, and I was like, man, this is awesome. You know what I mean? This is a good feeling. This is natural. Kind of went to my coach, and then said, let's try this out, and the rest was history.
Yeah, most definitely was, Trav. And you were already a big guy in high school. How did you prepare your body to transition from playing defense to being a tight end? And I know like the weightlifting program and the conditioning was different. So what did you do to get your like mind and body prepared to play Division I collegiate football?
It was I wouldn't say I necessarily trained, or I wouldn't necessarily say I lifted differently, because I feel like tight ends and linebackers have essentially the same lifting program. But as far as watching film, obviously you're watching film now on the offensive side of the ball as far as the defense. And so I think that kind of helped me make the transition to tight end, because I had a lot of knowledge in regards to defenses and being able to read defenses. So when I went over to the offensive side of the ball, I felt like I was almost essentially a step ahead.
Okay, cool. And I know that you played in hostile games, you know, in high school, but now you on national TV. Now you playing against other big top name schools in the Big Ten. You in the tough conference. What was that first like cracking game for you, Trav, where you was just kind of like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
you know?
Trying to think of a first game. I mean, I think in general, Oak Creek typically had a large fan base for high school, especially with like guys like Brian Calhoun, which was the top running back in the state. I played with him at Oak Creek. He ended up going to Wisconsin, or he ended up going to Colorado. Then went there my freshman year. He transferred to Wisconsin. So I don't know. I would probably say like Iowa, because Iowa is this is their old stadium, and they were probably like five yards away from our sideline, and getting all type of F-bombs and your mama this and your mama that. And I would probably say that was the first time I'm like, man, I was like, these people take this game pretty seriously.
I already know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, y'all football players are like, y'all turn up. I'm gonna just say that, Trav. Y'all turn up. Of course, every sport is played different, but I just always said with like football and hockey, like you guys, like I feel like y'all approach to the game is just totally different. Like it's almost like you, and correct me if I'm wrong, Trav, it's almost like you got to have loose screws to play them sports, right?
It's definitely a different mentality. Now, I think guys, this might validate your statement, because I think guys on the defensive side of the ball, especially like at the linebacker position, got to have some screws loose. Okay. Again, started at linebacker, went over to the other side of the ball. So I think the offensive side of the ball isn't as crazy, but I mean, you got to think about it. Like I took pride in, especially like in special teams, I took pride, and that's what's so crazy about this game. I took pride into knocking guys out. And I never wanted to intentionally hurt anybody, but as a man, and I didn't even know I was a man then. I wasn't a man then, but as it's an ego boost. You run down the field and lay somebody out, and it's just you gain respect, and I think you if you do it enough, it's to the point where it's like, man, you're the only person that can stop yourself, and I think that's the mentality you have to have. But I think as far as having some screws loose, I think that football does. I mean, now you Westbrook and Stephon Marbury kind of, they may have played high school football too or something, but predominantly I think football, you got to have some kind of screws loose.
I'm glad you admitted that, man. I've been scared to say that to a football player for years. I used to be in college, like even off the field though, like when I was in college, like,
yeah,
you know, it was just like, dude, we partying, like just calm down. Having a good time, bro. Like, calm down, man. So yeah, I know that that you won. You was the winner of the John Mackey Award in week 4. I researched it.
So that might have been, yeah. So that was probably maybe for that week, but the John Mackey Award is essentially given to the overall best tight end in the nation award. I was semifinalist 2 times, my sophomore and junior year. My senior year, I only played about 5 games. I broke my leg my senior year, but yeah, it's just kind of going out there and making plays, and obviously the guys, the coaches and the fans kind of vote on who they think will win the award, and I may have won it that week.
Yeah, man, and dude, you fucked it up that week, Trav. You got 5 catches for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. You fucked it up. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you telling me those stats, man. Exactly. Holding it down, baby. Holding it down.
Yeah, man, you did your thing, man. And I want to go back to the Big Ten conference as well. You know, with you playing in such a good Big Ten, a good conference, the Big Ten, and converting to tight end, who was on that other end who like made you come with your shit? Like, okay, this dude got defense, this dude strong, he fast, he can keep up. Who's some defenders that had you like, I gotta come with it?
When I was on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, when you was on
so I would probably say like Jack Ikaguana was always, he was a cornerback that was at Wisconsin, super strong, super fast, very intelligent football player. I mean, the linebackers were always tough. Mark Zalewski, defensive ends, Matt Shaughnessy. I'm trying to think of who else was. I mean, there are a lot of good players. I think I really got the biggest dose of, I guess you could say, of a wake-up call was when I was more so on the defensive side of the ball, my freshman year at Wisconsin, when I was playing linebacker and had to go up against Matt Bernstein, and he was probably arguably the best running back to play at the university. He was super big, always wore his neck collar. How you wear a neck collar and don't got a neck? So it was just trying to have him block me and him coming downhill, and yeah, it was just a different beast back then. But yeah, it was I was able to a lot of times just use my athletic ability at tight end, and it also helped that from the blocking side that I was next to Joe Thomas, which is arguably the best, not even arguably, the best offensive lineman to ever play at the school. So he did most of the dirty work.
Yeah, exactly. And like, dude, just doing my research on you, Trav, like, it's like I told you, I don't know about football like that. I know basic positions and man, just reading up, the things, that you did and the phone calls, like, and just like I just know you put in the work because everybody I called, played at a high level. Some played in the NFL just like yourself. And just the words like they were saying, just like, yeah, Travis a beast, a demon, like, and it showed at Wisconsin, man. So definitely proud of what you did for Wisconsin. And yeah. Now, how do the Rose Bowl and because you know how basketball got the NCAA tournament. Like, did you ever
Yeah.
have a chance to go to like the Rose Bowl or any of them
So,
popular tournaments?
so when I played the Rose Bowl, it was the national championship, and now they have it to where essentially it's I think the top two teams in the Big Ten play in the Rose Bowl, or the top team from the Big Ten play in the Rose Bowl. But because they started this playoff system, but we typically went to, I think we did two Outback Bowls, um, a Capital One, and I forget the last bowl, but it was basically bowls that you go to when you essentially have 9-win, 10-win, 11-win seasons. But yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to be a part of that Rose Bowl team.
Okay. Yeah. Now, and that's amazing too, Trav, for you to be a part of, such a popular event. So, but were there any point your years being in Wisconsin? Because we all human beings, we all got guys that I want to go to the NFL, I want to go to the NBA, I want to do this. Was there any time while you were at Wisconsin where you just sitting in your dorm or whatever and you just like, I'm going to the NFL or I have a chance to go to the NFL? Like, is there any time?
Yeah, I mean, I think my sophomore year, because again, you, I wanted to. I told myself that I was going to play in the NFL since I was 6 years old. Okay, um, you get to Wisconsin. Um, well, in high school, you're number 6 linebacker in the country. You go to Wisconsin, you expect to play right away. You get to Wisconsin, I don't play right away. You try and find your way. I moved to tight end, and it took 5 games my sophomore year to really earn my quarterback's trust. So I think it was up until like the 5th game of the season. I want to say that I maybe had 5 catches, and then after that 5th game, it was like 5 catches every game, and it was because we played the University of Michigan at Michigan, and I had 3 catches late that were in the 4th quarter. We didn't end up winning the game, but they were catches that put us in the position to win. And I think that me being able to make huge plays in big time moments earned my trust with our quarterback. So so it was really my sophomore year, when I was continuously putting up numbers every game to where I was 2nd in the nation in receptions my first year at the position, and I was number 1 in the nation at yards. And I was like, man, I could only imagine what my junior season is going to be like. So I come back my junior season, and my junior season is even better. And I think that was when I was like, okay, this is finally gonna happen. I can finally see my future ahead of me. And unfortunately, I had some injuries that the last game of my junior season, I dislocated my shoulder, had to have surgery. The last game of my senior season, I broke my leg, had to have surgery. So I ended my collegiate career with a few injuries. But I would probably say my end of my sophomore early junior year was when I was like, it's go time. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to go to the next level.
Man, dog, man, you just gave me chills saying that. You know what I'm saying? Just on the strength, man. Like, it's go time. Like, you turn right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can just imagine, dog. Like, of course, you know, I had no opportunity to go to the NBA, but I can just imagine, like, if I went to a big time program, man, and you know, I'm hearing all the talks and seeing stuff on ESPN or, you know, whatever, you know, and just finally like realizing like, dog, I've been thinking about this since I was 6 years old, and this is my opportunity.
Yeah, it's I mean, it is amazing, man. And it's just kind of one of those things, obviously, you being from Milwaukee, having this podcast, me being from Milwaukee, and just kind of like relating on something that's so huge, but Milwaukee's just so small. And to see guys have success, obviously everyone that you've had on the show has been successful, but for me to be able to hold it down and from Milwaukee and just let the little guys know that it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's definitely possible. You just got to tell yourself you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Now you said you had a couple injuries. You had to get surgery on your shoulder. You broke your leg, but you still wind up being drafted 3rd round, 100 pick, correct?
Yep.
Now, in football, getting drafted in the 3rd round is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
That's I think it's amazing if I ain't mistaken.
Yeah.
So before the injuries, were you higher? Were you a higher pick, a higher round?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously it's all predictions, but I was predicted to be coming out my junior year, the number 2 tight end picked. And I think that was Dustin Keller. I think he got drafted in the 1st round, and someone else got drafted in the 2nd round. But it's just, again, just me having the ability to kind of pursue still my dream. Because again, my senior year, I didn't finish my senior year, and then so we went to the pro day. And this is anywhere, obviously I broke my leg my senior year. So it's I can pick anywhere from 2nd round to 4th round. And my junior year, I was here in 1st and 2nd round. So obviously it did drop. And that's as to be expected when you come with an injury like I had. And so it comes to the NFL Combine, and the only thing I can do is bench press at the NFL Combine because I'm still rehabbing my leg. I can't even jog at that time. So then 2 weeks later, I was able to do everything full speed. That was my first time actually testing the 40-yard dash, jumping my vertical, running routes. That was my first time I ran routes since the actual season. So me still being able to be drafted in the 3rd round after such previous traumatic injuries was awesome.
Yeah, dude, that is awesome. You know what I'm saying? So what
you over there crying?
No,
I ain't making you cry, bro.
Oh my God. Yo, you know, I live in Arizona, so man, it be dry. So I be having Vaseline, and you know, when you be looking at yourself, I'm like, damn, I look shiny. Like Trav ain't telling me and shit. Yeah. So man, you break your leg and you rehabbing during pro day and stuff, and of course you was younger, so you know when you got an injury when you're younger, it's easy to kind of bounce back, you know, quick. But you get drafted, Trav. You get drafted, bro. And I'm gonna keep saying this. We from Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
You from Milwaukee. We're small compared to everything else. you get drafted, man. How your family, how your mom, how your dad, how your family, your friends, man, how your coaches, like how you feeling, man? You getting drafted, seeing your name, go across that screen and your name getting called up, man. How you feeling, man?
It was unbelievable. I had a draft party. It was so my year. It was the first and second round. Um, the first and second round was the first day. So I had a draft party, and the Giants had 2 picks in the second and 2 picks in the third. They did the first pick um, in the second round, and I was hoping to go in the second round with the second pick. But I had all my fans and or friends and family there. We were at I forget what it used to be, but we were at Uncle Craig's spot. It's Skybox now. It might have changed now, but right there on was that MLK.
Yeah,
So I had everybody there, and obviously I didn't go. I didn't go in the second round. So, but it was good to have everybody there and be able to celebrate such a good time. Just even the fact that I didn't go that day, but just getting everybody together and just to celebrate something so special to me, as well as to other people. And so, um, we went back the next day. Probably half people showed up, and was waiting, and they say the first pick, because whenever they before they pick you, they give you a phone call. You see the guys always on the phone, and prior to them getting drafted. So made the phone didn't ring the first time for the first pick in the third round, and uh, I'm just chilling, and obviously before I go to Milwaukee this weekend, I'm like, man, nobody texts me Friday, Saturday, because if that phone rings and one of you guys are calling me and I mistake this as an NFL team, I'm gonna be upset. So we're just watching the screen, and my phone starts ringing. And I answer the phone, and it's the New York Giants, and it was like, man, it was like, the tears come out. Everybody's, saying hyped. And Big Ryan is there, and Uncle Frenchie, and yeah, it's a surreal moment, and it's just finally look at it like, man, my hard work actually paid off. Um, and yeah, probably the best day of my life. So
yeah, man. And I always ask people, whoever got drafted, I always ask them, like, what's the parents' reaction? Because, and the family and friends, because, I gear more towards the parents because, especially mothers are very nurturing, and, fathers, are wonderful, and they work hard, and they invest in us, and they invest in, their kids. So to see their kid, their baby boy, no matter how grown you are,
yeah,
you the baby boy, for
yeah.
them to see you get drafted, man. And that's amazing, man. Now, was your agent there? Like, is your agent calling, texting, like keeping you updated? Like,
Yeah, he wasn't there, but he was calling and keeping me updated. Um, yeah, he was calling and keeping me updated. Like, Trav, it looks like it's going to happen today, and it's like, all right, and well, sometimes agents tell you what you want to hear, not necessarily what you need to hear. But um, yeah, it was like, hey, it's going to happen today, and yeah, it happened.
yeah, exactly. So, man, you get drafted, man. You go to New York. Of course, you're a Giants. You're a New York Giant. What team before going to the NFL that you was rocking with? Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, I would probably say Green Bay. I like Green Bay. I like Dallas. It was almost to the point where it's like you watch a team growing up, like the Packers, and it gets to the point where it's like, all right, well, I'm going to get drafted. Which team am I going to be the best fit on? So I got the call from New York. Didn't think that, I mean, I was to the point where I was like, okay, I'll just take what I can get. Like, I mean, this is my dream. But as far as New York drafting uh, a receiving tight end, didn't really make the most sense to me, especially since we have the biggest running back in Brandon Jacobs in the league. I mean, yeah, again, I told you I played the Super Bowl at 226. I'm 6'3", 226. Brandon Jacobs is 6'5", 245 pounds. So it's like, obviously I'm super ecstatic that I get the call from New York, but it's almost where I'm like, okay, well, where am I going to fit in this offense now? So.
Yeah, type of thing. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you go to New York. Who the first player you meet? Who the first player you meet?
I'll probably say Brandon Jacobs, because I was we first got there and they were working out and he was in the locker room and just kind of meeting and greeting the guys and Brandon Jacobs and he's a tough dude. You learn a lot from him. I'd probably say Brandon Jacobs was the first person that I met.
Yeah, Brandon Jacobs. Okay. And being being a rookie. Now, I don't know how it goes on the football end, but is it true that they made the rookies carry their bag, wash their cars, they do pranks and jokes on y'all? Like, did you experience that going to New York?
They do that. I'm trying to think of some of the stuff that I mean, they always try to get the rookies. I mean, especially the guys that get drafted in the first couple of rounds. They all go out to dinner and you think it's all nice and sweet, and all of a sudden when the bill comes, everybody get up and just leave, and you like, no, fam, it ain't gonna work like this. My financial advisor, I got a budget, man. This is way over the budget. I'm not paying $10,000 for this dinner right now. So, and I mean, you got guys buying $300 bottles of champagne and wine, and it's just, I mean, they used to take guys' cars and park it like 3 miles down the street, put this green dye in your helmet, so you had this green like line across your forehead all week. And yeah, there are some hazing, but it's all in good spirits. I would take getting hazed again to be drafted. Yeah, 100%. So
Yeah. Oh man, $10,000 trash.
Yeah. I'm like, sad. This ain't happening. I call my financial advisor, like, look, we're gonna be a little high this month. I'll tell you about it later.
Oh man. Okay, that was a good one, dog. All right, so man, let's get into when you first got on the field, man, your first game, being on them big lights, man, them bright lights and stuff, man. Like, how was the playing time? Like, I know you were competing because you were competitive, but how was it?
So essentially they used me in like a third down package, so the receiving tight end. So I essentially had my own package, and typically was used as a third down tight end. And I actually was more of a receiving tight end like my first year, and then played more throughout my career, but it was almost like they used me in the slot and I was more of a blocking tight end. So which I didn't get that. I mean, you draft me as a receiving tight end, but I'm predominantly blocking. So but I mean, my freshman year or my rookie year, didn't play a ton, but still was able to help the team make some plays that year, and we weren't very good my
Mm.
freshman year or my rookie year either. So was just looking forward to the second year.
Yeah, yeah. And how would you say the physicality and the speed and all of that stuff, like was that like I won't say too much for you, but was it easy for you to adjust to the NFL pace and speed and physicality?
Yeah, well, I think obviously in high school you have, or in college you have guys that are good, but when you get to the NFL level, everybody's good. Um, and it wasn't like defensive players had to be the fastest to be able to make plays. They were just so smart. They could read a defense pre-snap. They knew how to take the correct angles. They were there when the ball was there, and that's essentially what it came down to. Again, everybody was fast, everybody was strong, um, but but yeah, I mean, it wasn't a wake up call, but it was just, man, it's like everybody's good now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Now, being on that New York Giant teams, I know you had like Eli Manning, you brought up Jacobs. I can't remember any other players and stuff, but the how much did you learn from them? Like were there great vocal leaders, good mentors to you?
Yeah, Eli was a very good vocal leader. Brandon was more of uh, a leader by play. He would run guys over and get guys hyped and run you over, look down at you like, man, it's your fault. You tried to tackle me. And but no, there were a lot of guys that there was Kevin Boss, which is the tight end. I mean, you had Steve Smith, that was a wide receiver that was very good. Mario Manningham from Michigan, that was really good. Um, Antrell Roll was a defensive back. So there was a lot of guys, and it's just, you watch guys play and you see the enthusiasm, and you see the way that guys want to get better. You know what I mean? And Eli was really big on watching film, and the offensive guys would get together with him and after practice, and yeah, spend a couple hours there watching film with him every week, every day.
Okay. Man, that's cool, man. That's cool, Eli, man. Hall of Famer, right? He gonna be a Hall of Famer or no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I think so.
Now, man, now let's get into it, man. I was when I was writing this down, man, my little key points and just like writing down like Super Bowl 46, man. Like I hope everyone that's watching this, that's tuned in, like let that sink in. Like Travis Beckum from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, went to Oak Creek High School, won the Super Bowl. So Super Bowl 46, man. Against, hold on, was that against Tom Brady?
Yeah, yeah,
Against Tom Brady, a lot of y'all favorite quarterbacks.
yeah, yeah.
so
Tom Brady.
so you make it to the Super Bowl. You didn't play upstate. You didn't get a chance to go upstate with Oak Creek. You went to Wisconsin and played in some bowls and some nice, events. But now you're on the Super Bowl. This is one game. It's on TV. Everyone's watching, tuning in. You got nerves? What's going on, Trav? Like, explain how that whole atmosphere
Yeah,
was. Like, not even just the football, like playing the game, but how was the atmosphere?
yeah. So we went out there about a week early, um, and we didn't really get a chance to participate in any of the events. But obviously, it's Super Bowl week, and there's always something going on and always some kind of distraction. But I think for the most part, everybody was focused and knew that we had a huge task in regards to beating Tom Brady and them being a 15-1 football team. Um, so yeah, it was just staying focused that week. Had a great week of preparation, and then comes game time, you run out of the tunnel, uh, and then I blacked out, and then I was on the sideline sometimes. So yeah, it was surreal. It was surreal.
And man, I was gonna ask that, Trav, because I know you growing up, you watching the Packers, you watching football, you know, all of these things, and even the Super Bowl, and for you to be, you know, to participate in the Super Bowl, like it's almost like shit, like you gotta pinch yourself, like this shit real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for you experience that. Now, if I ain't mistaken, got this written down. Okay. You scored a touchdown in that, right?
Not in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Not
before.
in the Super Bowl. I unfortunately tore my ACL in the second quarter of the Super Bowl. Um, but no, unfortunately, I did not score a touchdown. I did score a 67-yard touchdown against the Packers
That's what it
earlier that
was.
year. Yeah, yeah,
That's what it was, Trav.
yeah,
Oh my God, Trav. So man, you tear your ACL again during the Super Bowl.
yeah. Well, it was my first time tearing it. I tore cartilage in my other knee
Oh, okay, okay.
the next year, but yeah, second quarter, was running a route. Tried to avoid a linebacker. He kind of pushed me in the back. I landed on my my knee and it just buckled. Wasn't anything special. It just kind of gave out, and I knew exactly what it was when it happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you go down with an injury, but you're still in the Super Bowl, and y'all, you know, playing Tom Brady, you know, playing a good Patriots team, and Eli, you know, and you know, the New York Giants put on a nice show to win that game, man. And when that game was over with, man, and the way your team fought, man, and won a Super Bowl, like, did you have another? Because I know you said that being drafted was the best feeling ever, but you winning the Super Bowl, like, how did that make you feel? Like, just knowing that you got a ring.
Yeah, it was. And again, I always tell people is that my dream was always to play in the NFL, and the Super Bowl was just, I guess you could say that icing on the cake. And not only to win a Super Bowl, but to play in a Super Bowl, but then to win a Super Bowl was just like, I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more as far as a football career. Um, Unbelievable moment. Cloud nine. The only thing that I needed to basically hang up the cleats, and this is obviously fast forwarding to now, but was to be inducted to the Wisconsin Hall of Fame. Was inducted this year, so now I can hang up the cleats. But I would say just being able to uh, be a part of such a huge accomplishment, and will forever be next to my name as a Super Bowl champion is unbelievable. So that doesn't go away. So
Yeah, exactly. And man, congratulations, man. I actually seen that on IG. But yeah, congratulations being inducted to the Wisconsin Badgers Hall of Fame, man,
appreciate
and
it.
winning the Super Bowl and whatnot. So you win the Super Bowl, Trav, you experience that, man, beautiful moment. Um, but you know, you go down, you tear your ACL, and I know football is, you know, cutthroat. So you know, do you come back the next season as a New York Giant, or do you get released or traded? Like, what happened after winning the Super Bowl?
So excuse me. So I come back the next year, and I know that this has got to be a huge year for me because this is my contract year. Um, so I missed the first 6 games. I got to be on the PUP list, but then I come back. Um, I play a couple games. Knee's fine. Then I'm blocking, and I get kind of like a bone bruise in the other knee, and it's probably like maybe like the next week of practice where we're practicing. I forget the team. Maybe we were playing Dallas or something that week, and we're in practice. I'm running a route, running like a corner route, I plant, and then I tear cartilage in my other knee in practice. And it was just like, obviously I knew it was messed up. It was like, man, this is my contract year. I can't go out like this. And I'm trying to like jog to the sideline, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't good. So yeah, I had to have another surgery to get a hole that was basically punctured out of my cartilage in my knee. So
yeah. So with that happening though, did you finish the season out?
So yeah, so that was the end of my contract with New York. The next year, so I'm a free agent then. They didn't re-sign me. The next year, I'm supposed to sign with the Seahawks. I'm working out, and I have sports hernia surgery. So I don't play at all that season. Next year, I come back. Next year I come back and sign with the Seahawks. I'm with the Seahawks in the summer. I'm probably with the Seahawks for about a month. And that was just kind of when I just realized that I was just battling injuries. And again, all I knew was football. So trying to make it work as much as I can. I get released by Seattle, and then I sign. So that was in the summer. And then I signed with the Saints for training camp that year, and had a really good training camp. And then, that was my last time being with the NFL team. That was in 2014. That was to the point where it was just like, man, I'm battling injuries every single year. Now I got to figure out what's the next step. And when you play a sport for so long and are so dedicated to the sport, it's all you know. So now I'm in the stage of trying to figure out who am I as an individual, who am I as a human, what can I offer, what do I have to offer, it's frustrating, but it's a part of life, and it's a part of being in the NFL. So it doesn't last forever.
Yeah, exactly. So with you going through all that stuff, Trav, like, did it mess with your mental health?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that just going out and being able to use your athletic ability to get paid a ton of money is a blessing. And when the money's not coming in like it used to, and you're like, man, does this mean I gotta get like a 9-to-5 now? I gotta be a real human. And it was just mentally, it was just kind of, again, trying to figure out who I was and what my role on this planet is. Because prior to that, I was a football player. That's all I knew. So now you gotta make some adjustments and figure out who you are and what's next.
Okay. All right. So after you put football in your rearview mirror, is that when you fell in love with DJing, being a DJ? Like,
so it was after New Orleans, and I was back in Milwaukee, and I had some friends that owned some venues, and I've always loved music, and I was like, man, maybe I got to figure out something that I'm passionate about. And it was always music. And so I started DJing and went and got all the equipment and started opening up for guys that were DJing at certain clubs. And just fell in love with that, where I started my own company doing that and still continue to do it till today.
Okay, cool. And what's the name of your company?
4-7. So DJ was DJ 4-7. Now it's just 4-7. So FOUR and then the number 7. And that was my number with the New York Giants, 47. Mm-hmm. Didn't want to be 40. Didn't want to be DJ 47. We'll just keep it at 4-7.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually code though.
Yeah.
So I wrote this down. DJ some people. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the D with the DJ and stuff, I have seen you like at McGillicuddy's. I believe have you been at White? No, 720. Yep, 720. What are some other like clubs or bars or places that you DJ for? You just do everything all around?
Yeah, so I've done I actually started, back in the day with like New Styles and Aztec over at, like, we would do uh Mangoes on like 16th on the south side. Uh we would do Jinx. That was when I first started. And then, yeah, like you said, Lucid, 720, McGillicuddy's, RWB, Plum, basically everywhere, basically most places in the city. And then was traveled a lot to do it. Been to did some stuff in Vegas, Chicago, Minnesota, Madison, obviously. But yeah, so having the ability to still be able to do and get paid what you do, or to get paid for doing what you love, is still a blessing. Obviously, it's not, pay isn't as much as I did when I played football, but there's a lot of people that wake up and uh, aren't fans of their 9 to 5 and are just doing it for a paycheck. So I still have a blessing to be able to do this as a side hustle. So
Yeah, and that's dope, man. And continue doing that, man. We need to hear that good music, man. You actually might have to send me a playlist. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I got you.
So just two more things, Trav. We're gonna wrap it up, man. Again, dude, I really appreciate this, man. I enjoy hearing your story, man, learning a lot, man. And all right, so I'm gonna name 10 players, right? I'm gonna name 10 players. I'm gonna pair them up and you pick. All right, you ready?
I pick based off of what? Who's better?
Yeah, or just who you picking. Yeah, whoever, yeah.
All right.
Randy Moss or Terrell Owens?
Ooh. Man. In his prime, Randy Moss.
In his prime, Randy Moss. Ray Lewis or Brian Urlacher?
Ray Lewis.
Tom Brady.
Ray Lewis almost gave me a kidney infection. It hit me in my back, and yeah, that was rough. Dude, but Brian Urlacher was good though.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, Trey? I was supposed to ask you that because I love Ray Lewis. I meant to ask you like you got tackled and smashed by Ray Lewis. So
yeah.
Thanks for answering that.
Yeah.
Tom Brady or Joe Montana?
Tom Brady.
Ooh, okay. Deion Sanders or Charles Woodson?
Deion Sanders.
Okay. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Popeyes or Chick-fil-A?
Popeyes.
That's what I'm talking about, Trav. Yes. All right, so this is the last one, Trav, before I let you go, man.
That wasn't 10.
I said I'm gonna name 10 players and pair them.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant 10 pairs. Okay.
No. Okay. You liked it that, Trav. I can name 5 more.
Like, come on. Yeah.
All right. Allen Iverson or Kyrie?
I might have to go with Allen Iverson, bro. Allen Iverson was a bad dude, but Kyrie is unbelievable. But it was just, I just feel like the game was just different when Allen Iverson played.
Okay. Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant?
Jordan.
Okay. Oh shit.
Much respect for Kobe. Kobe is definitely Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan are all my top three guys. But Jordan is forever going to hold that place, and Kobe is unbelievable. As far as an athlete, I think LeBron is better, but I think he's a more dominant player. But Jordan is unbelievable, and Kobe was just ridiculous.
Okay, last one. Kevin Durant or LeBron James?
LeBron. Right. I mean, yeah. LeBron, yeah. I'm gonna have to go LeBron.
Okay. All right, man. So no, for real, Trav. This is the last question right here.
Okay.
What advice would you give these kids that's give these student athletes, or what advice would you give these student athletes? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Obviously, me being from Milwaukee, and again, Wisconsin doesn't get a good rap, and so that means it was just that much more important for me and that much harder to get recognized. And if I'm already going in with weight on my shoulders and already having the challenge of not being in your Chicago and your Dallas and your Vegas, and I was able to do it from Milwaukee, just by telling myself that I was the best player on the field, and just having the most confidence in myself, and always wanting to be better, always wanting to watch guys that were better than me, figuring out what I can do to become a better football player. I would say are things that I always pushed myself to do. And it's just, I think that there's so many people that want to see people fail, and it's very unfortunate. And it was just something that I was never willing to accept. I always told myself that I was going to be great, and I just worked my butt off, and I just had the mentality that no one could stop me. So I think that if you put yourself around the right people, and you work harder than you ever had to, and it's easy to do things when you want to do them. It's easy to do things when they're easy, but challenge yourself, put yourself in uncomfortable positions, feel comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And I think just going above and beyond, and going the extra mile, are some of the biggest things that I would say to this younger generation, and people that are looking to be professional athletes. Just don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because they may not have done it before. They may be jealous. You never know. There's outside factors. It's not easy. It's not easy at all, but it's definitely doable. And I would probably say it's just my few key takeaways for some advice for this younger generation.
Yeah, man. And thank you for sharing that, because these kids do need to hear that, man. And again, I appreciate you, Travis Beckum, man.
I appreciate you, bruh.
Man.
I appreciate you, man. I told you we would get it done. I'm glad that we finally got this hashed out. I was able to be a part of this this platform that you have. I know you're going to use it in an awesome way, and especially this younger generation. This is what they need to hear. This is what they need to see. So much of the media is basically now, oh, I'm going to take it one game at a time. I'm going to take it one game at a time. No, you're not. You're an athlete. You're an athlete. You can't tell me that if you play Ohio State 2 weeks down the road that you're not looking at Ohio State. It's incorrect. There's so much the media wants you to say, and I think this is a good way. This is a good platform for us athletes to be able to voice our true feelings and opinions on certain things. So if I can have a positive impact, I'm more than willing to do it. So I appreciate you.
Man, thank you, man. There y'all have it, man. Travis Beckum, man. Like I told y'all, Super Bowl champ, 46, man, with the New York Giants, Oak Creek High School alumni, Wisconsin Badger alumni, and Hall of Famer, and DJ 47. Man, thank you for coming to the Barcode Podcast, baby. I'm out, Trav. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Just touched down, back on road. Counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode.